See, that's what happens. I'm trying to tell you, Bernard Carney, in your group. When you go linear, when you got the story becomes more linear. Okay, you're in basically the process of a lift in a sense, kind of. May happen, may not. I'm just saying that's what happens when it becomes linear, though. Your conscious mind, your subconscious, basically looks around in the world, and you kind of basically know it should be different. But we kind of already known that. So that's why I don't want you doing Carney noise and all that stuff, because guess what, Bernard, I told you, Brian and me, and maybe the Robo Knight and some other guys have already experienced it, even Greg Faust, we've already done it. And with less noise and all the distractions. That's why I don't want you torturing, mutilating, maiming, because it puts it in there. So what happens when you go linear? Remember, see, Bernard, see, Joe, and some of us, we did them walking with, you could do them with computers or not, but you go linear and we had less distractions. So you're in a sense lifting it, but you're in a tube. That's why there's another lesson why you shouldn't tube something before you're ready. But of course the Carney and ghetto life in the country and Western world already do that. So it's just something. We used to do it without tubing it, and the tube came in. So tube does something different maybe. So again, when you go linear, Bernard, what do you think happens in the story? And that's what Brian and I are teaching you guys, because some of us went through this. But as you go through the world, doing Steely of the Bit, picking up stuff or whatever, or even your surroundings and what you built, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind already knows somewhere in there that the world we should be living something different, or you should be seeing something different. But you might have already evolved. There's a bunch of factors in there. But I'm just saying you're basically in what we used to do, a lift. But you're in a red invert. And scientists, there might be always in an invert, there's always a lot of questions. That's what those guys we used to discuss. But Brian and I and some of us have already done it before, Bernard. Some of you are scared, some of you aren't. Some of you think it's funny. I take it a little more seriously. But I used to be a little more carefree about it. And, it changes them many times as you do it. When you're not around the right people, it's different all that time. And I haven't been around some of the people who do it that we used to do it for a long time. But I can tell you, Robo Knight and I and not Jim, but Brian and maybe his father, Greg, some of us went through it. That's why we don't want Elton and them doing nightmares, because they put it in there. And they do it thinking it's a trash can. Oh, it'll go away. No, it don't. That's the problem. You gotta think you're inside of one in space. It stores that shit. So basically you're in a mini lift in a tube. That's why you don't want to tube it. Bernard, you didn't need them, but they let you guys. And so your subconscious goes around, and we got to hear all the noise and Stan and Perlita yapping and la 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 la. And that's the problem. If you did torture with Ellery Perlita, it traps you in there. So if it dropped one or you lift it, if you guys were playing with those and they're part of a bigger one, it just depends. Without me actually being able to see it, it doesn't get in here. I have a conceptual idea. They show me stuff, they're here, there. I'm like, well, I have to physically be there. And a lot of that weird shit they did, I didn't do. I know how to get it up from an old style, and it didn't take long. And like I said, Perlita, I died a long time ago. Ask them, because they saw it, and it was a shit mess, a big one. And most people didn't know they were doing it in their sleep.